welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Lorena. I am a self-concept coach and mentor, and I am here to support you in changing your state of being, shifting your identity, and really recreating yourself into the most aligned, most authentic, most embodied version of yourself, your highest potential, so that you can manifest the things you really deeply desire from your soul, from your heart. I'm excited. Today's video is a little different from normal because, as you may have seen, I am currently promoting my coaching program, Recreate Yourself, which is starting soon. But, if you're watching this way later, don't worry, you can always reach out to me and talk about it with me to potentially join the next intake if this program calls you, if it calls you to work with me and to be coached by me. Today is not so much an educational video, that's just me. Today I'm actually going to interview one of my clients, and I love her so much. She has undergone such a transformation, and I really wanted to bring her in and let her speak about her experience and Recreate Yourself, how she has shifted her self-concept over the last year, how her life has changed, how her embodiment has changed, and also, why she chose to do this program, and, what her reflections are on this. So if you're curious about the program, or you're just curious about a success story, or hearing about how this really works, then keep watching and let's welcome her in. So here is one of my beautiful, beautiful clients, actually quite long-term client now. And this is Anna. I'm just going to ask her a bit about her experience in Recreate Yourself, how her journey has been over the last year, over the 12 weeks inside, what has changed since, what she has integrated since, and just get an idea of how she has transformed and how this has all gone. Welcome, Anna. So to start, I would just like you to just introduce yourself however you feel, however you see fit, your name, where you're from, and something else maybe that you feel called to share.
Yes, thank you for having me. My name is Anna, and I'm based in Poland, in Warsaw currently. I would call myself I am an empath, maybe a healer, and also on this conscious manifestation journey, like everyone here probably.
Yay, beautiful. Beautiful. It's honestly such a joy for me that you just came into my field, into my world, because you're such a beautiful person, and it has been so wonderful to just witness your evolution and your continuous dedication to your healing, your transformation, your desires. So it's honestly been an honor and a privilege to walk this path with you. So what I would like to ask you first, because you joined Recreate Yourself last year, probably around a year ago it was, what inspired you to join Recreate Yourself? Why did you choose to make this investment, to take this leap, to work with me? Let's start there.
I wasn't in this manifesting community for a long time, but I already when I go into something, I go very deeply, and I want to know everything. So I start, my research, watch everything what was there. I was reading a lot, listening to many videos on YouTube, or watching Instagram for content what was around the topic, because I got so into it instantly. And I just came across your profile. I don't know how, but it was on Instagram. Basically, I saw what is your approach to the topic. I really love this holistic approach, that it wasn't just negating your emotions and repeating affirmations, because this was making me very anxious at the time. And I just loved your approach. I also saw you had this holistic manifestation guidebook, and I remember that I downloaded it, and it was for free. So I had a peek what was there, and it was wow, this is exactly what I need. And also because of that, I remember I discovered this formation breathwork, transformative breathwork. Yes. So this embodiment part was very important for me as well. And it was missing for me in other teachers or like other like coaches content.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's yeah, sometimes it just happens, right? Like you just come across the right person at the right time.
Yeah.
It just fits together. That's how it's like what it's always like with my mentors as well. Like it's almost like an energetic pull. Like yeah, there is something that resonates here, and like I'm somehow attracted to this person's energy. That's really beautiful, and I think a lot of people will be able to relate to this, soaking up all the information when they first get into it. Like I did the same, and I know many people do it because there is so much information out there. And I would even say now it's even more. Now there's even more
Yeah.
messaging that gets out there. Like I don't really follow anybody in the
Yeah.
same industry on Instagram, and still I get bombarded with so many posts, so many messages, and there's a lot. So yeah, I'm glad that the approach that I have resonated with you, and I know transformational breath work has been a big game changer for you specifically.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned the guide, just for everybody else to know as well, that holistic manifestation guidebook is still available as well. I've always got it linked in the description. That's filled with practices as well, if anybody wants that and doesn't have it yet. What was your life, your perception, your relationship with yourself like before you started working with me, before you joined Recreate Yourself? Where were you at just before you took the leap?
Yeah, I also didn't finish because I forgot to mention how I applied actually, because it was like I got this instant pull, like I just discovered you and I instantly work. I need to sign up for like your program. So it was like after like few months I discovered you, and I think we already had like introduction call booked in March. And I remember there was intake in April, and I was also like, why I cannot join it yet because it
It
was
was already
full, and
sold out. Yeah.
I had to wait till August. But yeah, it was worth it definitely. Yeah, but you ask how it's changed. Can you repeat
Well,
the
what was your life like just before you joined? Just before you were like, okay, I'm going to do this program. Where were you at? Your life, your relationship with yourself, anything you feel called to share.
Yeah. It wasn't great, to be honest. I was like just going through this awakening, like how else we want to call it, or like just being aware of that you actually maybe attract the certain events or people into your life based on your state or how you show up. And it was like a bit a hit for me because I was blaming myself that why did I attract those things, those events, why did I even create that for myself? And I was in this deep state of self-shame, very anxious state, victim mindset. It's even easy to fall into those traps now, but the thing here now is that you are aware, you are conscious, you are able to catch yourself easily, and you have also tools to navigate if those things like still show up. And back then I was just dwelling in those states, and yeah, I was very anxious, very attached, very controlling. And yeah, definitely it shifted. Right now it's completely different story.
Yeah, beautiful. So you have actually undergone a huge transformation, and yeah, it's never over. Like we always
Yeah.
come up against the same noise in our head. There is some reprogramming that takes place as well, of course. There are some things that don't show up anymore where
Yeah.
you have the positive stuff coming in rather than the
Yeah.
stuff that was coming in
Yeah.
previously. But some things will always be there to an extent, and it's more about really noticing them, starting to build a different relationship with them, really working with your ego rather than against it. So yeah, and you really had that shift. I actually remember, I don't know how long into our program, our container it was, a few weeks maybe, and I remember we had a call and you were quite frustrated with it's not shifting fast enough and these kinds of things, which is such a normal reaction, right? We always want things really fast. And I remember we had a call around that and transmuted things around that, and literally the week after you came back and it was like a different person was sitting in front of me. And from then on, it's kind of been just going up. I don't know. Do you remember that, that moment?
Yeah, I think it was after shadow work week. I think I'm not sure because it was like a lot of was happening that time, and it was intense, many shifts. And I remember also we were talking about the void, and you said something like, "But you are already there. You know that, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." It was like this realization. It hit me that I don't have to change anything anymore or go somewhere else to change things because like I'm changing them right now. This was like this moment where it like hit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Beautiful. I love it so much. Yeah, I think sometimes people, especially people who are also like over consuming a lot and, soaking up a lot of information, sometimes there's a bit of a hesitation to go deeper into this work because they think it's just going to be more of that. But the beauty of this work is that you're really integrating it, you're embodying it, and you're becoming literally a different version of yourself, aren't you? So I'm so glad. I remember that vividly. The shadow work piece is often the most transformational piece, but before it goes up, it usually does go down a little bit. What would you say were your biggest takeaways or, light bulb moments that you had from the program, from Recreate Yourself, or in that program? Do you have anything key that stands out for you where you're like, "Oof, that was a big thing for me"?
I think calls were moments like that. Also, like even sitting with yourself, and also like the specific call I just mentioned. It was this moment like which was very transformative. But honestly, all of them were the moments like that, and like I had so many realization, even like after breath work or just sitting with my emotions. They were once they were showing up and like going even deeper to those fears, to those I don't know, to the sadness and exploring what's behind that. Basically, it taught me so much, and it's even hard to explain what is happening because you need to experience that. It's so hard. Every person the experience will be different, right? Because everyone has a bit different story or different things to work with. But yeah, for me it was just everything was transformative.
Yeah, and everybody has a different experience. Everybody has a different pace as well. And you're right, it's difficult to put into words actually. Like I sometimes
Hmm.
struggle like when I am literally selling and promoting this program, which brings me so much joy because it's my life's work, right? And you've experienced it, and it makes me just so proud and so happy to see when there's these results like your transformation that come out of this. But like I sometimes can't put it into words because it's such an
Yeah.
experienced thing and such a felt shift that is not, you can try and put it into words, but it doesn't really do it justice.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Beautiful. So how would you say this program has changed your life? Because I know you've gone through a lot of shifts relationally, with like where you want to take your job, where you want to live. You've made a lot of changes, you've gone through a lot of trials, so you don't need to share everything, of course, only what you are truly comfortable with. But if there's anything you feel like you want to share, any journey you've gone through where you have really seen the changes in your life and in yourself and in your reactions, and how things have transpired for you, then yeah, I would love to open that floor for you.
Yeah, I think most of the changes I saw internal changes, right? I was reacting differently. So this was is still like the biggest win, I would say. And also like perceiving things differently because it wasn't like even bothering me so much or like at all, even for some of the things. Before I would be devastated if I like someone does this to me, or I don't know, doesn't reply to a message in 5 minutes. I'm already like, oh, they don't love me, they don't want to, I don't know, be with me or have anything to do with me, or even, yeah, I would take it very personally, to be honest. But right now I just honestly don't care, or like if someone doesn't reply, probably there are some reasons, or if not, then I'm also okay with with maybe this rejection, which I wasn't okay with before, or like take it personally that it's something about myself, that people are showing up a certain way. But right now I take it more like, okay, that's a good experience that, for example, I met them, but maybe there is no alignment anymore between or in our relationship. So that's why they have to, and it's better for me if they go than to like anxiously attaching to those people and just staying out of fear, and yeah, just for them not to reject me or like choose me. Yeah, and also like speak my mind openly. I think authentic. I share honestly what I think or feel, even though if it's not comfortable, or like maybe before I would be afraid not to hurt someone's feelings. If I don't like something, they invite me somewhere, and even before I said maybe yes, then I don't feel aligned anymore. Actually, I would like to do something else instead right now and not go for this. So I just speak openly, like, sorry, but I want to do this instead. And yeah, just before I would be, too scared to say anything. I just please the others. So yeah, these are the small things, and there are so many examples. I cannot quote all of them, but yeah, those things are coming into my mind at the moment.
Yeah, we've gone through this and all kinds of topics, but I love that you are
Yes.
sharing these particular things as wins as well, because these are like the most important ones because they trickle out through all areas of your life, right? Like you have seen developments in how you approach relationships based on this, for example. You have seen developments in how you make decisions for yourself, how you make changes to your life because you now set these boundaries. You are living your life for you and you are creating your life through you, for you, and not for somebody else or to avoid a certain feeling or something. You are really doing anything led from your heart, essentially, which is really beautiful and very empowering as well. It's coming from a place of I love myself, actually, which that is always the most important thing. So yeah, I love that, and thank you for sharing that as well. What I also wanted to ask earlier, but I kind of slipped my mind. When you initially applied and joined, how was the process for you of making the investment? Because I know for some people that
Ah,
can be a bit of a moment.
yeah, it was scary. I'm not saying it wasn't. Like I first saw your program and I knew, I need to be there. But then I wasn't like aware how much is it the investment. In general, I wasn't like long time into this like business, coaching business. So I never invested into something like that before. So I wasn't aware even how big will be the investment. But then I saw it and like I was very scared to invest this kind of money. I never did that before. Before I was just saving everything, putting into my account, not investing at all anything, like especially not in myself, more just keeping it just to have it as a safety net. Yes,
Clinging
like
on to it.
holding on. Yes. Yeah, but then I couldn't forget about it. Whatever it was still in my mind, appearing in my head. It's a right thing for me to do. I think my intuition was just screaming that this is what I need. At that time, I was going also for change in career, and my contract got terminated in the previous position in my previous job, and but it wasn't my fault, but the company's fault, and they had to pay me like severance. I don't know how this is
Severance
called.
pay, yeah. Hmm.
Severance pay, yes. Of free salaries or something like that. So I got like huge amount of money at the same time, and it was even I think just after I decided I will join, this happened.
I
So
remember that.
it covered the bill of the course of the program. So it was beautiful, and but I would make this investment even if it didn't happen because yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that story, and I do actually remember this. And here's what often happens, and I'm saying this for anybody watching this and listening. I'm not saying you're guaranteed to get random money if you make an investment. Not what I'm saying. But what often happens is that you open up the channel when you commit to something, right? You said, well, this is scary for me. This is a leap. This is an expansion, but I just feel that pull and I'm going to do it. And through you saying, I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm not giving in to this fear of what if the money doesn't come back or whatever comes up. if you say I'm going to do it anyway, like 9 times out of 10, the people who have done this, who have come into my field right afterwards, they get that exact amount or more. With somebody else recently who invested shortly after got like a tax repayment out of the blue, like sometimes these things just happen because I find that, and this is why I think investing in yourself is really powerful, and why, I do believe, and what's more money is relative for, it's different for all of us. But when we make an investment that really stretches us, where we're like a bit, I don't know, what happens is you're kind of sending a message to your subconscious and to your nervous system that's saying like, we're doing this, we're growing. And it's almost like your subconscious mind has no other choice than to get into alignment with that, because it's like, oh, okay, guess we're going there. And these channels open up. So yeah, I love that happened for you, of course. And that you listened to your intuition as well and took this leap. It has, given that it's now been a year approximately since you joined Recreate Yourself, and my work, this program is about a sustainable approach to changing your self concept. What would you say about like the long-term results that you have seen? How has this program supported you even after you completed it, basically?
Yeah, it supports me every day because there's lots of content where to which you can always go back to, but also lots of practices, and especially embodiment practices, which you can use even daily or do daily or at least regularly, which will highly benefit you, I believe, and I know. But I also appreciate a lot this RYS tribe we have after the you complete the program, and we still have this constant connection, constant support. So this also is very highly beneficial because it enables us or me to like sustain this shift.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. I think a lot of the changes that you made during the program and shortly afterwards really integrated and embodied. And I feel like even if, as you say, you have access to this program every day and you can use practices in there every day, and that's kind of the purpose, and maybe also good for people to know who are kind of like a bit wary of making an investment like this. It is actually a lifetime thing and not just a 12-week thing. But even if you lost access to everything today, let's say the internet disappeared, you have this still because it's so integrated in you by now, like so embodied, like you have undergone a transformation, and nobody can ever take that away from you, and that's really so beautiful about doing work like this. And you mentioned investing in yourself, and when I say investing in yourself, I, by the way, don't just mean money, I also mean energy and resources and time. That really changes you, and that lasts, so yeah, that's really beautiful. Cool. Is there anything else that you feel like you wanted to say about the program, your process, anything, your successes, anything else you feel like I would like to share this piece also?
About the program that it helped me a lot. Yeah, basically I would recommend it to like everyone who is hesitating whether to join or not, because I feel like if you are drawn to it, it's a just right thing for you to do, and if it feels scary, it's even like better indication that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, beautiful. And you already answered my last question, which would have been, what would you say to the woman who is currently like, I kind of feel called to this, but also I'm scared, to like the woman who's kind of on the verge, because I know there's a lot of people watching this, like everybody probably who's watching until this point into our little interview will be somebody who's feeling called. And I know there's a lot of people messaging me who who are curious, but who are then like taking a step back, which I understand, it's a natural reaction. So what would you say to that woman who's like, I want to, I'm kind of on the verge, I'm kind of on the fence?
Just ask her if she really wants to create a change or she looks for excuses not to do it, because this was helpful for me. But yeah, like do it, take the sleep, trust it. Like if you are called to it, I even if it feels scary, I think it's a right choice and you won't regret it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your
Yeah.
experience and your journey and all of the things. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure this is going to support a lot of people. So, I know you have recently done a Reiki practitioner training. So, I'm wondering if you maybe want to share a bit more about you and your platforms and where people can find you if they want to connect with you, whether somebody's like, actually, I have more questions about the program and I don't want to ask Lorena,
Oh,
or whether
yeah.
actually I really like Anna's energy. Does she offer anything? So, yeah.
So this is important to mention that after you do a program, there are many shifts happening. So you also make decisions like you join other programs, you make other investments. So this is kind of connected. So if you are ready to it, only do it.
I mean, these are
Done.
some circumstantial changes, which I know you
Yes.
haven't mentioned too many of them, but you have moved, you
Yeah.
have gone and ended a new relationship, you have started a training, you're gonna start like new work. It's not to say you're necessarily changing your career, but like you're definitely starting something new. You're thinking about making big changes in your life going forward, which I'm also not going to go into detail about, of course, but there's a lot that has been happening for you and that you
Yes.
appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we also often speak about it that changes are so subtle that it's, of course, if I reflect how things were like like year ago, it's huge. It's huge. But for me, right now, from today, it's hard for me to even see it. It was constant change, and it wasn't like big shift in one day. It wasn't. It was happening slowly. Maybe that's why it's so hard for me to see it in such a big picture. But of course, the change is huge. And also, I like was called during the when I like was in the program to go deeper into spiritual practices and evolve in this field a little bit more. And yeah, I joined my Reiki training first level. Then just a few weeks ago, I finished my second level as a practitioner. Yeah, and I created an Instagram account where you can connect with me, or maybe I will be offering also some healing sessions, so you can connect with me there. It's called reiki.bus. So yeah, this is something also the energy I work with. It also helps me, it supports me with my healing journey. So yeah, if I can help anyone else with that, it would also make me very happy and also give me some feeling of fulfillment that I can help others also on their journey, which I know it's sometimes scary and can be painful as well. Because it was like this for me before. Right now it's much better.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We're all so much more alike than we always think. We always think we're so special, but we're all the same. And I mean, we're also all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to receive a healing from Anna, do not hesitate to reach out to her. You will be in such good hands. Thank you so much for doing this with me, for being here. I will see you very soon anyway.
Thank you as well. It was a pleasure.